What's good, YouTube? This is your boy Will, the Indicator Trader, and I am about to show y'all one of my secrets for free. I said, you know what? I should charge for this. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? I ain't released nothing, you know, big in a while. I haven't released a free method update in a while. My free methods are it's old. So they still work. They still work. But I haven't did an update free method for you guys in a while. So I said, okay, let me do it. Now this is free if you have the Willstreet though, because you're gonna need the Willstreet. So if you don't get the Willstreet, get the Willstreet to be able to do this. You can do it without the Willstreet, but it won't be as accurate because you have to see when there's an overbought and oversold zone to do this. If you can do that by eye, then you can do this method. You can skip rule number one and do 2, 3, and 4. Okay, but let's get into it. All right. So rule number one: price must hit a major zone. This is the 1 minute, 1 minute only. I don't send these signals because this is a scalping method for me personally. I do this on my own time. By the time I send this trade, I'll be already out. Okay. So this is for you to do on your own time when you're trading alone and you can just kill the market. This is the 1 minute and this worked 100%. This is not a 95% strategy, 60, 100% if you follow the rules. That's why I should charge for this. But I'm going to be nice and I'm going to give y'all a little cook up for free, because I'm nice like that. I would not release anything if it's not going to help you. We all know that's how Will is. We already know that's how I am. I don't drop nothing unless it works for me and then it will work for you. Okay, this is how I make money, so it's going to make you money. But my patient level is very, very high and I don't rush my trades. So I'm always successful. But let's get into it. All right, so rule number one: price must touch the top of the Willstreet. Rule number two: price must close. All you need for it to close under. Once it close under the once it close under the 45 EMA, that is the second rule. Right here, it closed under the 45 EMA. Now, after that second rule, you need the third rule. You need the retest. Okay, you need the retest. The retest will be this candle right here. That means you need a lower high. So this high is lower than the top high. It's even lower than this high, but that's not a part of the rule. We're going to get into that later on aggressive entries, not waiting for the pull, not waiting for the 45 EMA break to get you in deeper drawdown. But if you follow these steps, your drawdown won't be as much, barely any. Okay, but let's get into the setup. So rule number three, you need the pullback. So here's the pullback right here. That's a lower high. That means this high is lower than the previous high, even lower than that high. Perfect. That is what we need. The fourth confirmation for you to enter, you need a bearish candle closing, and then you enter on the next opening candle. That is this candle right here. Once you see that close, this is your entry. Boom. Your pullback is only 20 pips. That is nothing. 10 pips every single time. This is US 30. This works with any pair. I'm going to show you guys that too. It works with any pair. This is a 10 pip guaranteed move every single time. It even dropped even more. But you just going for 10 pips every single time. So let's just say you missed that setup, but it touched again right here. Cool. No problem. It touched. Rule number one, it touched. We are in another setup. Now it need to close under the 45. It closed under the 45. Here's the 45 right here. The next confirmation. The third one, you need a retest. Here it is. Here's the retest. It's a lower high. This high is lower than the previous high. Perfect. The fourth and last confirmation, you need a bearish candle to close. Once it closes, you enter on the next opening candle. Here it is right here. Here will be it right here. Boom. This is your entry. Look at the pullback. Only 7 pips. 10 pips. Got it. No problem. That's every single time. This setup is crazy, guys. I do this. So if it works for me, it's gonna work for you every single time. Even right here, it touched the top. Rule number 1, it must touch an overbought, oversold major zone. Number 2, it must close under the 45. This is closed candle under the 45. Rule number 3, you need to retest. You can't enter if it don't retest. I'm giving y'all powerful knowledge. I'm trying to tell you, I should charge you guys for this because this is 100% winning method. I'm telling you, if you follow the rules, this is 100% winning method. There's no way you can lose this. Okay, so it closed under the 45. Discount. That's all you need for it to close under the 45. Once it closed under 45, number 3 is en route. The retest. Here is the lower high. This high is lower than the previous high. That's what you need. Perfect. Fourth and last confirmation, candle must close bearish and you enter on the next opening candle. This entry was insane. Look at the drawdown. Not even 5 pips. 10 pips, you hit it easy, and the market just closed and just shot down 100 pips. This setup is gonna work if you follow the rules. You gotta follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, you're not gonna see this. Okay, so here's the buy setup. It touched the major buy zone. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, it closed above the 45. Rule number 3, here's the retest. Here's that higher low. This low is higher than that low. Perfect. Rule number 4, it closed in a green candle. Here's the entry right here. Look at the drawdown. No more than 12 pips. What is that? Look, you get the 10 pips every single time. Guys, if it touched the top when you're going for a buy, if it touched the top before the setup comes, that resets for the sell setup. You can't take the buy no more if it touched the top of the Willstreet. Before the setup comes, you have to wait for the sale after that. Don't take a buy if it touched the top and you didn't. If you wasn't in the trade before it touched the top, do not take the buy if it touched the top before the last setup applies. Okay, so here we go again. Sell setup. Boom, it touched the top. Boom, that's rule number 1. We got it in. Now we're waiting for the rule number 2. It closed under the 45. Here it is right here. Rule number 3, we need the pullback. Here's the pullback right here. Here's that lower high. This high is lower than the top high. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Fourth and last rule, candle must close bearish and you enter on the next opening candle. Candle close bearish here. Here's your entry. Look at the pullback. Not much. Only about 20 pips pullback. What is that? 10 pips, easy. Scalp. It dropped all the way down to 100 pips. If you want, you can trail that down. Now, here's what I mean about entering, more aggressive. Because if you enter more aggressive, then you're liable to get in higher drawdown. So let's say if you did the rules, but you didn't follow rule number 2, but you follow every rule, meaning you waited for the lower high, the bearish close candle, but you didn't wait for the break of the 45. This was going to happen. Okay, here's the lower high right here, perfect. Here's the bearish close candle, perfect. And if you entered here without the break, look at your drawdown. The drawdown you went in without seeing any profit was 90 pips, and then you got in profit later. Okay, that's if you don't follow the rules. That's what happens if you don't follow the rules. Now look at the difference. That was 90 pip drawdown. Look at the difference following the rules. Okay, it touched the top. Here's the close under the bottom, right? Here's the close under the bottom. Here's the 2 lower highs right here. Here's the bearish candle. Before this even happened, this is your entry. Before this happened, this is your entry, okay? This is your entry. This is 10 pips. So that ain't nothing. 30, 40 pip drawdown, that's nothing. But look what happened. You got the 10 pips. Worst case scenario, if you entered here, the drawdown is less than 90. The drawdown was only 57 pips, and look what happened later. It dropped. Okay, but you still got that 10 pips from entering on the rules. You shouldn't be in this trade no more than 5 minutes. Every setup should take no more than 5 minutes. I hope I'm explaining it to you guys. So, rule number 1, price must touch the major zone. Here's rule number 1. Rule number 2, price must close above the 45. Here's rule number 2 right here, the 45 EMA. Rule number 3, the retest. Here's the retest candle. This is a lower high. That means this low is higher than the lowest low. Perfect. That's what we need to see. Rule number 4, We need a closed bullish candle, and then we enter on the next opening candle. Here it is. Boom. Look at the entry. We didn't suffer no drawdown because we followed the rules. If we do, it don't matter. We're getting 10 pips. 10 pips first candle. If you want, you can ride it up. If you can trail it, that's you. Okay. Boom. It's gonna happen. You're not losing. You're not losing waiting for this setup. You're not losing waiting for the setup. This is not designed for you to lose. You're winning this every single time. You're getting 10 pips every single time. This is a 9 to 5 killer. I'm telling you that right now. This is a 9 to 5 killer. If you follow the rules and you don't rush the setup, this is a 9 to 5 killer. Okay? So here it is. It touched the top. Boom. It closed under the 45. Once it closed under the 45, you only wait for the retest, and then you wait for the bearish close, and you enter on the next candle. It's that simple. Here's the retest. Here's that high. Here's that lower high. This high is lower than that. Here's the bearish candle close. Here's the entry candle. Boom. It only pulled back only 22 pips. To me, anything under 50 is a good entry. For me, that's a great entry. Here's the 10 pips right here before it even anything I got in. I'm already out that trade in 3-4 minutes. Like I say, it's gonna drop 10 pips every single time for you. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. It can't get no easier than that. Now, this is the tricky part, okay? Listen, here's the tricky part. It's not really tricky. You just got to be able to spot it. Okay, so here's the buy setup. So it touched the bottom, right? Now, this is the low. This is the low. Here's the closing. Okay, here's the closing of the 45. Now, look, this is a lower, this is a higher low right here. You can enter after the bearish candle. You can enter that because it closed above. Remember, once it closed above the 45, you need that higher low. All three of these are higher lows because the low is higher than its low. Perfect. That's what you need. Here's the retest. You got 3 retests. Perfect. They're all 3 of them are higher lows. Perfect. That's just double confirmation. That's confluence right there. That's just easy. And now you just wait for the bullish close and you enter on the next candle opening. Look at the pullback. Only 11 pips. 10 pip. Got it easy. Boom. Look, it just went up. If you want, you can trail that. Okay, this is an easy setup, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this setup. It touched. That's your first rule. It closed under this. This is how powerful 10 pips is every single time. This is how powerful the setup is. It closed under. Rule number 1, it touched the top. Rule number 2, it closed under the 45. Rule number 3, here's the retest. Here's that lower. Here's that higher. The lower high. This high is lower than the previous high. It's lower than this one, lower than this, but in reality, it's lower than that. Perfect. And it's lower than this. Perfect. Rule number 4, it must close bullish. It must close bearish, and then you open on the next candle. This candle is your entry. You immediately go into 10 pips. Look at this. Immediately get out in the first candle. That is a spot on entry. That is a perfect entry. You get 10 pips, you get out of there. You get out of there. Okay, and you wait for the next setup. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Okay. Worst case scenario, if you wanted to wait and you was greedy, you got into major drawdown 65 pips. Not much. The stop loss gonna be about 150 to 200 anyway. But if you want to get this, you don't need that big of a stop loss because you're entering the right way. But worst case scenario, is the trade still going your way. That's the whole point. You still win the trade. That's my whole point. Okay, this setup is easy. All you have to do is be patient. This is a 9 to 5 killer, guys. 9 to 5 killer. Okay, here's the same setup. Major zone. Rule number 1, major zone. Rule number 2, price must close above the 45. This is above the 45. This candle was above the 45. Rule number 3, you need a higher low. If you look closely, 1, 2, 3, those are higher lows. These lows are higher than the previous low. Perfect. You got 1, 2, 3 of them confluence. Now you just need a bullish candle close. Look at this entry. If you can spot this and follow these rules, your entries is going to be insane. I told you I'm supposed to charge for this because this is a 9 to 5 killer. You're not working after this. All right, so here's your entry. And you see 10 pips, easy. It shoots up 300 pips. If you can trail it, you can trail it, okay? You don't got to work ever if you follow this step. I'm telling you, you don't gotta work ever. If you just wait patiently, wait for these 4 simple rules. You do not have to work. If you can master 10 pips, your lot size can be whatever. The only thing is your lot size got to be able to hold pullbacks in case you hop into one. Can your account handle a 200 pip pullback? Can your account handle a 100 pip pullback depending on your lot size? Do not over leverage and your account should be able to hold it. Okay, so here it is again. Here's the same setup. Major sell zone. Boom. It closed under the 45. Number 2, the retest. Here's the retest candle. Here's the lower high. That's what you this is the golden right here. This is the golden. This is what you want to see. Once you see this, it's a golden for you. All you need a bearish close candle. Rule number 4, a bearish close candle, and you enter on the next opening candle. Here it is. Boom. You enter. Look at the pullback. 20 pips. Sorry guys if you hear my daughter in the background. 20 pip pullback, and look, easy 10 pips. You're going to get it every single time. That's you. This US 30. Let's go to gold real quick, so you guys can see this work on everything. I'm gonna show you it works on any pair you can think of. It works. Like seriously, it works. We're not even gonna worry about anything. It works. This work on any pair. Okay, so here it is. Major sell zone. Boom. It touched the major sell zone. Rule number 2, close under the 45. You can say this, it closed under the 45. This is technically closing under the 45. Now after that, rule number 3, the retest. Here's the retest. Here's the lower high. This high is lower than the previous high. Perfect. That's what you want to see when you're waiting for the sell. The fourth confirmation, candle must close bearish, and you enter on the next opening candle. Here it is, bearish entry. Look at the drawdown. The drawdown was only about 8 pips, but you got 10. You're going to get 10 every single time when you wait. You're going to get 10 every single time when you wait for the setup. So right here, we can hop into this. All right, boom, it touched the bottom. All right, it closed above the 45. Here it is. Now we need the retest. Here's the retest. Here's the number 2, close above the 45. Number 3, the retest. Here's the retest. Here's that higher low. This low is higher than that. Here's the bullish candle right here. And here's the entry. Look at the drawdown. The drawdown only 4 pips, but eventually it went up to 10 pips. Trading gold. You got 10 pips. Drawdown really was not even, it didn't even do much, bro. Drawdown was only 6 pip, but you got the 10 pip move. Okay, you guys can see this work every single time. Look, drawdown. This don't count as close. This one count as a close. This is a close. It didn't close above. This is a close. So right when it did that, boom. Here's the lower high. Here's the entry candle. Here's the higher low. I'm sorry, the higher low. Here's the bullish candle. Here's your entry. It went back 5 pips. What is that? Boom, 10 pips, easy, smash. That is gold. That is golden. You're not going to lose in this method because you're waiting for price to hit. You might not get the retest all the time. See, you got a retest here, but you can't buy this because it touched the top. Look, this is the retest. Here's the candle that you wait on. It touched the top. So you can't do that. You got to wait for the sell now, which is right here. Candle close under the 45. Here's the retest. Here's that bear. Here's your entry. Look at your entry. Boom. You got the 10 pips literally every single time. Okay, this is gold. Let me show you guys a GBP pair. Now, guys, when you're trading GBP pairs like GBP AUD, it gives you 10. But I would recommend you go for 5 pips just because the pair is slower, okay? It's slower. So this is a good example. A move actually just happened, okay? So looking at it live, rule number 1, it touched the top. Rule number 2, it closed under the 45 right here. Rule number 3, it must retest this. Here's the retest candle. Rule number 4, it must close bearish, and you enter on the next candle. So look at the entry. The entry was spot on. We didn't even get in drawdown. But it gave you 10 pips. This is 10 pips. It gave it to you. But the 5 pip, the reason I say 5 pip because it gave you 5 pip quicker, but you have a higher lot size trading GBP AUD, you have a bigger lot size because it's different from trading gold in US 30. That's how you got to know how to adjust that. So your lot size on GBP AUD, if you want to get that big number on 5 pips, have a 50-cent lot size. To get that 5 pips, you get $25, you get out. Have a standard. You get $50, you get out. It's all dependent on you. I'm just showing you guys that it works on every pair. The only difference is the pip count. The pips is different. Okay, the pips is different. Now you guys might ask me about this. It touched the top. Me being skilled as I am, I can take this trade. You don't take it. You would have had to wait for this setup. You don't take this trade. You take this trade because once it touched the top, it resets, which is the trade you would have won. Patiently waiting for it. That's a winning trade. But let me find you guys a winning buy setup. This is another winning trade. You can see it. Top, close under the 45. Here's the retest candle. Here's the closing bearish candle. Here's your entry. Pullback was only what? 2 pips. Here it gave you 10 though. It's gonna give you 10, but it gives you 5 as well. But you guys can see. Okay, here's a nice buy setup. It hit the bottom. Perfect. Number 2. It closed above the 45 right here. Let me get the cross out. It closed above the 45 right here. Number 3, the retest. Here's that higher low. This low is higher than that low. Perfect. Number 4, we need a bullish close candle, and we enter on the next candle. Here it is. Here's entry. Look at drawdown. Drawdown only a pip and a pip, not even 2 pips, just 1 pip. And look, you're gonna get the 10. But like I said, you could go for the 5 with a higher lot size and get out. Okay, but you guys see it works on every pair. This is a 9 to 5 killer. If anybody else has a better strategy, anybody else have a better scalping strategy than me, show me. I am confident that there's no other scalping strategy on the 1 minute that's beating this. Because this is 100% if you wait. 100% every single time if you wait for the setup. I'm telling you, I don't release nothing but wins. If it works for me, it's going to work for you. What's the difference for me? The difference for me, I know the rules, and I created the rules. You just got to follow the rules, okay? If it touched the top before the setup comes, that resets for the sell. You would have got in right here. This is your setup. It did the setup for you. You just had to wait. How many more minutes? It looks like about 15, 20 minutes. Wait for the setup to come, but it will come. So watching this live, how would you enter this? Well, rule number 1 has happened. Rule number 2 has to happen, meaning price has to close above the 45. Once price closes above the 45, number 2 is confirmed. Number 3, you need a retest. The retest will be you're going to need a higher low candle. Once you get the higher low candle, meaning a closing bearish candle higher than this low, rule number 4 is going to come, which is you need a bullish candle closing. Once you get the bullish candle closing after the lower high, you enter on the next open candle. You go for the 20. You go for the 10 pips every single time because it's going to smash every single time. Every single time you're getting 10 pips every single time. Whatever you do after 10 pips is on you, but you're getting 10 pips every single time. You can back test it all day. You can do this. Now, if you guys don't have the Willstreet is $100. You can message me on Will the Great One on Telegram. I will have it in the description. But I'm telling you guys, I'm supposed to charge for this because I feel like this is very powerful information that I release. It's very, very powerful. You're not losing doing this. You're not losing a trade when you do this. And yes, it works on higher time frames. I know I'm going to get that question. Yes, it works on higher time frames. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It works on higher time frames. So here's the H1. So those of you, remember, the setup takes longer, okay? Because we're trading the H1. The setup takes longer. Same rule applies. The same rule applies. It's just different. So here it is. Major zone. Rule number 1. Rule number 2. It closed above the 45. Rule number 3. Here's the retest candle. Here's the retest candle. Rule number 4, it closes bullish. Here's your entry. Here's your entry right here. I know I'm going to get, look at the drawdown. 12 pips. What is that? You get 50 pips out of this candle. Of course, trading the hour chart, it's longer. Okay, you're going to get more pips if you trade the hour chart. But I was showing you guys the 1 minute. So here it is on the H1. So you guys know this is no bullcrap. This is legit the top strategy ever. If you want to use this, you can use it on any time frame. I'm just showing you the 1 minute because you can hop in and hop out so many times before you know it. You done flip the account to $1,000 before you even know it. Okay, you trade the hour chart, is gonna take longer. Don't go to the hour chart trying to trade like the 1 minute because the setup is not gonna come right away. It's literally each hour. Okay, so here it is, guys. Major sell zone. Boom. Here's the candle close under the 45. Okay, let me zoom in for that. This is under the 45. That close under the 45. That means we are waiting for what? A lower high to retest. Okay. Rule number 2. Rule number 3. A lower high. This is a lower high because look, it's lower than this high and it's definitely lower than that high. Okay. And then here's the bullish candle closing. Here's entry right here. This is entry for us. Pull back only 13, 12 pips. What is that? You're going to get 10 pips. Trading the hour chart, you can go longer. Of course, it's the hour chart. You trading the hour, you hold that thing for an hour. Look how many pips you would get. You will get 20 pips out of that if you hold it for an hour. So that is good, you know. Not more than an hour because this is an hour. So 2 hours you would have got 20. You would have got 20 pips. 4 hours you would have got 50. It didn't go on and go on, but yeah, it works on higher time frame, guys. You just gotta know how to do it. You know, it takes longer on a higher time frame, but it works. You know, once that 45 get broke, you always wait for the retest. Once you wait for the retest and you wait for that next, you wait for the 4th, you're good. You're in there. Okay, so I just want to show you guys that powerful tool. You know, that's worth thousands because you're going to make thousands with it, okay? But I don't mind giving that for free. You know, I owe you guys a huge free method. Like I said, if you don't have the Willstreet, you can purchase it for $100. It still works without it. You're just not going to be able to see when a market is overbought or oversold. It is $100 to purchase it, one-time fee. That's it, and you will have access to it. Hit me up if you want to purchase it. If you feel like you can do this method without it, go ahead. I salute you. Go ahead. But, you know, that is it, guys. Hopefully, I gave you guys some big, powerful knowledge, which I know I did. Hit me up if you have any questions about this strategy. It's the best killer method ever. It's not going to lose if you follow the method. Hit me up if you have any questions. I'm out. Let's eat.